Hi everyone, welcome to my podcast. I am sending you a podcast for Activity 3.1, Tools to Assist the Writing of I.E.Ps. For this assignment, we were asked to reflect upon the ways in which technology can facilitate the development of individual education plans and or can be problematic in the development of appropriate education for exceptional students. So we're going to take a look at the advantages of incorporating technology in the development of our IEPs, and also what are the disadvantages or how is it problematic when we do so. I'm also going to try and bring in my own personal experience and some of the things that we use at our school, the technology that we do incorporate in our IEPs here at my school. So first of all, I'll start with the advantages. Advantages are that you can, well, first of all, I will start with some of the technology that we use here at my school. When we develop IEPs, sometimes we are granted, funds for students to receive C-acclaim equipment, so individualized equipment for them, as well as training on that equipment. So that's a great advantage of being identified and being able to receive that technology to aid you. Available on these C-acclaim computers are programs such as Kurzweil. That's a program where you're able to speak into the computer and it'll help with getting your thoughts down in writing. Also, it helps children who, or students that sometimes are missing vocabulary. It allows, sometimes the vocabulary, a word will pop up while you're writing a sentence to give you kind of to help you fill in the word that you're trying to fill in for your sentence. So we do use C-acclaim equipment that has software like Kurzweil on it. Also on the computers are programs such as PowerPoint, Excel, obviously word processing, and then also you're able to connect to the internet and connect to programs such as Blogster or Prezi or VoiceThreads. I'm not sure if you've ever heard of those kinds of programs before, but I do like to include them. I like to use them in my grade 5-6 split class. Blogster is basically an interactive poster that you can create. Prezi, again, an interactive presentation. And VoiceThreads is a lot like a podcast, which I'm doing right now, where students can add their voices to PowerPoint presentation so that they're both writing and orally presenting their information. And so I believe that those are great advantages to being able to include in an IEP. The reason I think that they are advantages is because, as we know, with all students, not only ones that are identified, we all learn in different ways and we all have strengths and areas of needs. By incorporating technology, you're allowing students to really build upon their areas of strength. Let's say, for instance, they have an exceptionality in writing and feel a lot more comfortable orally presenting their information than they can do so using the technology, or vice versa as well. That'll allow, if they have trouble speaking orally or presenting their information orally, that there's lots of options for them to write in many different ways and not just paper pencil. It's, obviously they could, but it's one more, there's lots of opportunities for different ways of communicating their ideas. So lots of advantages in incorporating technology into a child's IEP and things like that. Yeah, just looking over my notes here, allows for students to use their strength. When we build an IEP, as we've been learning in the last little while in our course here, is that we really need to look at what are our students' strengths and areas of needs. And again, I'm repeating myself, but I believe that technology allows us to utilize our students' strengths. There's just so much variety out there, and we keep developing more and more technology. So that's great. As far as disadvantages to including technology in the writing of an IEP, there's a couple things that we need to think about. Obviously, I'm obviously very fortunate. I'm at a school where technology is in abundance. So technology is not only provided for my students with IEPs, some of them have been given funding by the government and have received a C acclaim, but even those that are on IEP and do not have C acclaim equipment are privileged enough to be able to use technology every day. We're a blueprint school, which means that we've received funding for technology, and we have literacy at school, which means that we've got a teacher set up with lots of technology who knows technology very well, and we go in for sessions to learn more about technology through her. So we're very, very lucky in that way. I'm not sure if that's the same. I'm not sure if every school has that same advantage, and I'm not sure how different boards vary in the amount of technology that is provided for students. So again, it's an equity issue. If we include technology in an IEP and a student moves to another school or board, will we have to change that IEP? Will they be accommodated if they're used to getting that type of support before and then they're not? Like, that's something that we have to think about. So it's an equity issue. Also, another thing is, as we know, an IEP is developed with a team of people, including the classroom teacher. If that IEP is created with a teacher who feels very comfortable using technology, very open to trying new softwares and different things like that, and that's written in, the next year's teacher, will they feel as comfortable? Will that be intimidating? Will they be able to accommodate in the same way? So just some things to think about. That's what came to mind when I thought of advantages and disadvantages. And again, the article Integrating Technology with Individualized Education Plans listed a bunch of different ways to support and accommodate our students using technology. One thing I guess I'd like to mention before I go is I kind of aside, I should have mentioned in advantages, I really enjoy using Moodle, which we use for our course. I use Moodle myself. I find for students that have trouble breaking down assignments or keeping track of success criteria and learning goals, it's a great resource, Moodle, because you can upload success criteria and learning goals for specific assignments, and students, it's always there for students to reference. And there are students who have trouble, have some exceptionalities in organization and learning skills, and so it's just a great way to keep things organized and always available to them. The reason why I decided to create a podcast today instead of uploading a journal entry as per usual is I thought, well, if we're talking about integrating technology, why not try it? So here's my first attempt at a podcast ever. And secondly, I feel a lot more comfortable speaking to people rather than writing. I find it a lot harder to write down my thoughts than I do to speak about my thoughts. So here's me trying to differentiate for me. So I really appreciate your time in watching my podcast, and thank you very much. Bye.